at Heavy Montreal, talking with Sabaton. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for being
Let's just start off with a simple question. What's it like playing these festivals?
It's great.
It's great. I mean,
first time on this continent with a proper stage production as well for us.
Yeah.
Yes, so pyros and tanks. I don't know how the Canadian customs let us through, but somehow we managed.
Yeah, because I think the last time I saw you was at Club Soda with, was it Accept or?
Accept, I believe, yes.
I wasn't in the band then.
You weren't in the band at the time, but that was a great little show right there.
It's always good here. I don't know what it is. I like playing here.
Yeah, Canada is great.
We'll talk Canada, we'll talk Sweden. Let's talk Last Stand. The album comes out in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Talk to me about the sound, because you have had some lineup changes. How do you keep that consistent sound, or do you just let's go for something new?
No, it does sound Sabaton, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's what we do. We sing about military history,
right?
And it truly has the Sabaton sound to it. We did have some new tricks up our sleeve on this one, though. But let's take an example. One of the singles, Lost Battalion, sounds like it has drums, but it's actually not drums. What you perceive as a kick drum is a 50 caliber machine gun.
Is it really?
Yes. Yeah. And what you think is a snare drum is a 9mm handgun. And what you think is the hi-hat is actually a strange hi-hat, but it's a bayonet going into flesh.
Sounds a little bit like what Judas Priest used to do on British Steel, where it was like forks and a cutlery.
Yeah. We stole that once actually back in the days.
Yeah, so talk to me about lyrically about all this, war history and all that. Why not write about puppies and flowers?
Well, there are enough heavy metal bands singing about sex, beer, and women.
Right.
And dragons.
And dragons, yes, of course. And puppies.
It's like your own little Dio thing.
Yeah. But I think also there are so many fantastic stories in our past that are being forgotten. And why make up new ones? Because it's sometimes reality is more fascinating than the fiction you can make up.
So now with the lineup changes, was it difficult to get Last Stand completed? Was it,
No, not really. I mean, the major trick was, I think, Heroes. The last one was the first one with a new lineup.
Yeah.
And at that point, we had to make sure everything sounded super Sabaton. And on this one, though, which is the second one, I think we all were a bit more free.
Yeah.
I think.
And what's it like for you coming into an established band?
Well, I mean, I was quite surprised that they were so established and everything was so structured up and everything like that. So I was like, well, okay, I don't have to say anything. Just do my parts and that's good.
Can you be creative, or does he come to you and say, I want you to play like this?
No, I mean, sometimes.
Yes. It happens.
It happens.
We do write songs together as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that good for you? Challenging to have somebody come in and write with you?
Yes, I love it actually, because as the years go by and being the main songwriter in the band, I haven't written everything myself, but I've always been writing with somebody. It becomes easier and easier for me to arrange things because you get more experience as you would with anything else. But when you've done it for so long, it becomes harder and harder to come up with the ideas. That's where these guys come in, and it's I have such a fantastic instrumentalist and somebody who's obviously doesn't think exactly in the same way. And I mean, I think some of the best songs on the albums are the ones that were collaborations between band members.
And it keeps it fresh as well for you. Now, let's talk Sweden. Sweden to me right now is the country that is producing the best hard rock, the best metal, from In Flames to you guys to Heat to Eclipse. What is going on in Sweden right now?
I have no idea actually. I haven't seen Sweden.
Yeah, we're never there. We're never there.
Mustache is also from there.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I think several reasons. I mean, in the winter, what are you going to do in Sweden? Either you become an alcoholic or a musician. Those are the options.
Or both. Yeah. You combine them.
Yeah.
Like some bandmates that we...
a lot of people have done that actually.
Yeah.
No, but it's. I think it's also a part of the system, because when you're a young band, the state subsidizes a lot of these things.
Right. That's what I'm trying to get to. Is how much help do you get from the state to do the music that you do?
I mean, when you're 10 years old and you say, I want to play the guitar, you're only going to pay a small fee every week. And the teacher will actually come to your school and we'll have groups, and the state will borrow you a guitar for the first year.
Right.
For the first year, you don't even have to buy an acoustic guitar. And as you start, you buy your own instruments. As you get older, there are still these study circles and stuff like that, where you can actually pay, like, I guess, $10 per person a month. And then you only bring your own instruments and a cable to a rehearsal room, and you get one slot a week. And there is a PA, there is a guitar amp, and there is a drum kit. So you only bring your own cymbals if you're a drummer and drumsticks, and these things. So it's not that expensive. I mean, being a musician or starting out as a musician is not a matter of economy. At least that's one factor taken away in Sweden. And I think that, in combination with the history we had with music, even if we go as far back as Swedish folk melodies, you can hear that in us, you can hear that in ABBA, the Swedish way, and Roxette,
exactly.
the Swedish way of stringing a melody together seems to be popular, all over the world. And I mean, one of the most successful songwriters ever, Max Martin, is Swedish, and it's only Paul McCartney and John Lennon who has more Billboard #1s than him.
Yeah, because in the States, they cut back on music funding all the time. They're taking it out of the schools. Canada, we have, all kinds of grants. How important is that to your career and your success that you've had that opportunity? I mean, do you think if you didn't have that sort of guitar for the first year, that maybe you'd be do something else? Maybe you'd be an Uber driver today or something?
Actually, for me, I have started out as a Hammond and church organ player. And they were not available. So I was lucky enough that my parents gave me the lessons. But for sure, in the beginning, when you're coming to the later stage, when you're starting a band in your teens, to have somewhere to rehearse, that helps a lot. Because even if you set up your own place to rehearse and you buy all the stuff yourself, you fill in these papers to these study circles, and you'll get a small amount of money every time you do studying, which is rehearsing then.
Yeah, and it's important I think, to keep the arts alive. Now, you also do stuff with Paradox Interactive, video games, video game music. Talk to me about the challenges of doing that. Do you write in the same way? Is it like, here's a Sabaton song in a video game, or is it, here's a video game song that Sabaton's doing? If you sort of see the difference.
No, there's actually nothing has changed for that. But being Paradox and doing strategy games about military history, it works as already.
Which is perfect for you guys.
Yes. So musically, nothing has changed. I mean, our music has been on both Europa Universalis and Hearts of Iron. The only thing we did actually was take a suggestion from them. It was a great one about Walter Wenck, the German general. And we decided to call the song Hearts of Iron. So musically, nothing changed at all. But
how did you get into a relationship with the video game maker? Did they come to you, or are you always just looking for somewhere to slot the music in?
I think it was they just met at a party. Pat, our bass player, and one of the guys from
old school, like a handshake, and there you go. That's what I like.
No. We never search actively for partners or endorsements or anything like that. It has to happen
organically, as they say.
Yeah, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to, live with myself being a, walking, talking commercial,
The band's been around for a long time, but it seems to really be making a splash in North America in the last maybe 5 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
What has changed here where all of a sudden Sabaton can come and do a headlining tour, can come and open up for Accept, can come and be on Heavy Montreal?
Well, one of the major differences is going to be the fact that we didn't get distribution here properly until 2010. And then we started touring here. We had, done a show or two before, but the first tour we properly did here was 2011 with Accept. So the combination of actually having proper distribution and coming back once or twice every year is making all the difference in the world. And of course, it's going to be a faster growth than we had in Europe. Because let's be honest, when we started out in Europe, we were pretty much a shit band. You didn't experience these days, but we're a better band these days. So we can impress people faster. We don't need maybe 5 times to impress people. Maybe we'll do it the second time now.
Is North America still important for a band like Sabaton? Because in the old days, Led Zeppelin wasn't a band until they played America. Kiss wasn't. Well, Kiss was from America, but. Is it still an important market, the North American market? Because all the big festivals are in Europe in terms of metal.
Well, I don't care actually. I just don't want to be a band who only plays one market, if you will, then stops. Because you can only play in Europe so many times a year. And when you don't,
and then you drink, right? Then you
exactly. And what are you going to do then?
Go back to drinking.
I want to play. I mean, half of the charm is seeing, discovering new places, meeting people. So for me personally, it's quite important to be here. Economically, not that much at all.
Now,
I mean, historically, we would have made more money if we never came here.
It is an expensive thing. Now, will you be replacing him soon?
Hopefully not.
Good. That's what I want to hear. Jokes aside, are you going to try to sort of keep this band and move forward with this? Because the lineup changes, we know the history.
Yeah.
This is it now?
Oh, hopefully, as it's coming now,
Depends on how much you pay me.
Yes. Smart one.
That's kidding.
Our second guitar player, Thobbe, resigned a couple of weeks ago, actually. So we got a new one coming in. He's still a secret, though.
Yeah.
But I also understand we're a very, very active band. From, I think it was April 14 to April 15, we did 170 shows. So that's at least 250 days away from home.
Wow.
And
that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. And even though, I've seen it happen so many times before with our band, with other bands, that even if you can try to explain, do you have any idea what you're getting yourself into? Yeah, I want this.
Yeah.
And then you have a wife and kids, and you go,
Yeah.
I'm not so sure
There is no
anymore.
There is no guarantee that you're still going to want this 5 years later.
Because it's tough.
Yeah.
It's
very
tough.
Yeah.
I mean, the money, the being away, and anyway, I see that we need to wrap up. But thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.